Can Europe rely less on the United States, or does the alliance still matter more than ever? For decades, the US and European countries have worked closely together. They traded goods, shared intelligence, and protected each other through military partnerships. But things are changing. There are arguments about trade tariffs, defense spending, and who should pay for security. Some leaders in Europe say the continent must become stronger and more independent. Is the transatlantic partnership entering a new phase? Can Europe defend itself if the US steps back? And what would this mean for taxpayers, public spending, and even pensions in Europe? Over the years, Europe has relied heavily on the United States in three major areas. Many European countries are part of a military alliance, where the US provides a large share of funding and military strength. The US and Europe are among each other's biggest business partners. Companies on both sides invest billions every year. After the war in Ukraine began, Europe reduced its use of Russian energy and started buying more gas from the United States. But recently, tensions have grown. The US has placed tariffs on some European goods. A tariff is simply a tax placed on imported products, which makes them more expensive. At the same time, American leaders have been pushing European governments to spend more on their own defense. Now, this is where the economic debate becomes important. If governments increase defense spending, that money has to come from somewhere. Usually, it comes from taxes paid by citizens or from changes in public spending. For example, some money might be redirected from welfare programs, or governments may borrow more, which can affect future budgets. In simple terms, tax is the money people pay to the government, and pensions are payments the government gives retired people after they stop working. So, when defense budgets grow, leaders must decide: should taxes rise? Should pensions or benefits change? Or should governments take on more debt? These questions are now being debated across Europe. But the discussion became especially clear at one major global event. Our correspondent reports from one of the most important meetings in international politics, the Munich Security Conference. Every year, top officials, military leaders, and experts gather there to discuss global security. This year, the message from many European leaders was strong. They said Europe must prepare for a future where it plays a bigger role in its own protection. Some officials argued that Europe needs stronger defense industries, building more equipment at home rather than buying it abroad. Others said Europe must reduce its reliance on foreign technology and energy supplies. But there were also concerns. Several leaders quietly admitted that achieving this independence will take years and a lot of money. And behind closed doors, many were asking the same question. Is Europe truly ready to stand alone, or does it still need the United States? If a major crisis happened in Europe tomorrow, could European countries defend themselves without US support? Experts say Europe has strong economies and modern militaries, but coordination is still a challenge. Different countries have different defense systems, budgets, and political priorities. Another key topic is money. If European governments increase defense spending, does that mean people could see changes to taxes, welfare, or pensions? Experts explain it like this. Governments have limited budgets. If they spend more on the military, they may have to raise taxes, reduce some public spending, or borrow money that future taxpayers must repay. This is why the debate is so sensitive. People across Europe depend on public services like healthcare, education, and pension. Another important topic is trade. Can Europe build new partnerships with countries like India, Australia, or South America to reduce reliance on the US? Analysts say new trade deals can help, but replacing such a large economic relationship is not easy. The US and Europe have built their partnership over decades. Businesses, supply chains, and financial markets are deeply connected. And then there's energy. Is Europe moving toward energy independence, or simply changing who it depends on? Experts say Europe is trying to diversify, meaning it wants multiple suppliers rather than relying on just one country. But again, this transition will take time. So where does this leave the future of the Western alliance? Right now, the relationship between the United States and Europe is not ending, but it is changing. Europe is exploring ways to become stronger on its own. At the same time, many leaders believe cooperation with the US will remain essential. The reality may be somewhere in the middle. Europe could take more responsibility for defense and economic security, while still maintaining close ties with Washington. And the decisions made in the next few years will matter not only for global politics, but also for everyday people. Because behind the headlines about alliances and defense budgets are real questions about taxes, public spending, and the future of pensions. So let's end with one final question for you, our viewers. Do you think Europe should become more independent or keep relying on the United States as a key partner? Let us know in the comments, and thank you for watching.